This video is a compilation of true crime stories. I believe there's 10 of them that have been published in the last 48 hours. Each topic is troubling and heartbreaking. Viewer discretion is advised. If you do appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. The first topic is about Conor McGregor, the MMA UFC fighter, 36 years of age from Dublin, Ireland, and we're aware that he's been going through what I believe is a trial or a court proceeding, certainly, and we ought to be clear that it is a civil court proceeding and not a criminal court proceeding. That being said, the reason why we're reading through this is because he's been found liable for sexually assaulting Nikita Hand, 35 years of age, in December 2018. As such, Conor McGregor has been ordered to pay 248,000 euros in damages to the victim, Nikita Hand. So we could say done and dusted, he's been found guilty, but perhaps that would be a little premature. Conor still vehemently denies the allegations. He claims that they're all false accusations. He's gone to social media and claimed that he will soon be vindicated. He points to the fact that his friend James Lawrence was exonerated in the same case. So I don't have the full details, but James Lawrence faced similar accusations of sexual assault. I believe he was exonerated. Conor McGregor claims that he will be exonerated in due course. So I would say that it's fair to question this ruling to some extent, at the very least, to some extent, but perhaps that's just coming from me as a bit of a fan of Conor McGregor. I'm not a huge fan. I did actually like that film he was in recently. What was it? About that beach bar. Roadhouse, that's it. It's quite good. Anyhow, Conor McGregor points to the fact that the Director of Public Prosecutions concluded that it would be inappropriate to proceed with criminal charges against Conor McGregor in regards to this matter due to the alleged fact that Nikita Hand had been consuming alcohol and drugs, that she lacked recollection of what took place, and also there was evidence of CCTV footage. We don't know what was shown on the footage, but seemingly it was enough for the Director of Public Prosecutions to decline to proceed with criminal proceedings against Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor argues that that evidence wasn't provided within this court proceeding, and as such, he was hard done by. He's called the court process biased and calling it a kangaroo court of opinions and feelings. He stated that he will appeal, and he seems very confident that he will be vindicated. That's pretty much all I'm going to comment on the subject. I would like for him to be innocent. I think it's important to respect the judicial process, but this isn't a criminal proceeding. This has been a civil court ruling, and perhaps one that will subsequently be overturned. So for me, I feel that a little bit of patience needs to be applied at this point, but then perhaps I'm just a little bit biased. I don't know. Anyhow, moving on to the next topic. Alejandra Marin, 51 years of age, and Juan Sanchez Marino, 59 years of age, both of Moreno Valley, California, have been arrested and charged with murder, torture, and child abuse after their 10-year-old adopted son died in hospital. The boy was brought to the hospital on Thursday in medical distress. Investigators found signs of possible neglect and abuse. Tragically, the 10-year-old boy passed away several hours after arriving at the hospital. At this point in time, the cause of death hasn't been released to the public, and we're not told specific details about the alleged torture and abuse. So still very much early days, but tragically, a 10-year-old boy has died, and his adoptive parents, Alejandro Marin and Juan Sanchez Marino, have both been arrested and charged with murder, torture, and child abuse. Let's hope that the investigation proceeds unimpeded and that justice is served. Moving on to the next topic. Brett Bissett, 25 years of age, from Pennsylvania, faces homicide charges in relation to the murder of his son, Bentley Myers, 2 years old, who tragically died from severe physical trauma on August the 19th. The father's girlfriend, her name Brianna Bloyer, 30 years of age, is accused of beating Bentley to death. Tragically, Bentley was found unconscious and bruised on August the 16th at Brianna Bloyer's residence in Spring Hill Township. He was declared brain dead once at the hospital, and the father's girlfriend, who had been caring for Bentley for 2 weeks, allegedly made no attempt to call 911. The father's girlfriend had moved to the area in 2023 last year and started a relationship with the father, Brett Bissett. She's believed to be pregnant with his child, and we're told that it's believed that the girlfriend had assaulted Bentley multiple times and that the father was aware of this. Seemingly, it wasn't a problem for the father to watch his girlfriend beat his 2-year-old son. The father is charged with homicide, endangering the welfare of children, and recklessly endangering another person. The father's girlfriend has been charged with homicide alone, if I understand correctly. That's pretty much all the information that we have at this point point, an absolute tragedy. 2-year-old Bentley Myers killed by his father's girlfriend. The father was aware that the girlfriend was beating his son, and he did fuck all about it. Well, worse than that, he started a relationship, or continued a relationship, with his girlfriend to the point that he impregnates her. So it's early days in regards to the investigation, but let's hope that justice is served and these two scumbags face the full justice that they deserve. And I'm not even going to start to think about what possibly could be the future for the unborn child. Moving on to the next topic. Malachi Lamar Harris, only 15 years of age, from Powell in Tennessee, has been charged with second-degree murder in regards to the fatal stabbing of Savannah Copeland, who was only 13 years old. Savannah's body was found on October the 22nd on a dirt walking trail behind a community pool in the Broadacres subdivision of Powell in Tennessee, and her body was found by her own father after tracking her phone location. It's believed that 15-year-old Malachi Lamar Harris lured Savannah to the trail just after midnight, October 22nd, and allegedly stabbed her multiple times with a pocket knife. Prosecutors are planning to try Malachi, 15 years of age, as an adult. A hearing date has been set for January, and that's something I agree with. If someone is capable of murdering a human, a child no less, then they need to have the book thrown at them. They need to be incarcerated for the rest of their lives, in my opinion. And being young doesn't excuse that, not in this case, in any case. So if Malachi does have a trial, if he is found guilty or even pleads guilty to stabbing Savannah multiple times with the intent of killing her, then he deserves to be incarcerated for the rest of his life. Savannah was a cheerleader at Powell United Methodist Church Middle School. Our hearts go out to her friends, fellow students, the teachers, everyone touched by this tragedy, her father, her close family, and we do hope that justice is served. One final point that I don't think I mentioned is that we're not told the relationship between the alleged murderer Malachi Lamar Harris and the victim Savannah Copeland. We're not told their relationship. Perhaps they were schoolmates, perhaps they were neighbors, we don't know. Moving on to the next topic. Daniel R. Gore, 18 years of age, of Beaverton in Oregon, was found guilty of raping and murdering Milana Lee, only 13 years of age. This tragedy happened May 2022. Daniel Gore was 16 at the time of the crime, and he befriended Milana at Conestoga Middle School, Beaverton, Oregon. He lured her to his tent in a wooded area where he raped and strangled her for 3 to 5 minutes. The scumbag then dumped Milana's body in a shallow creek, concealing it with a tarp and logs. Daniel Gore attempted to establish an alibi by texting Milana's phone and claiming that he had separated at a bus stop. After the murder, Daniel Gore attempted to establish an alibi by texting Milana's phone, claiming that he was no longer with Milana, but surveillance footage showed that they were both together near his encampment. I'm not quite sure why he was camping out. Perhaps he was homeless, I really don't know. We're told that DNA evidence linked Daniel Gore to the crime. His defense lawyer or lawyers argued that they had a consensual encounter. Well, lawyers, I doubt Milana consented to being strangled to death. Again, he's been found guilty both of rape and murder of 13-year-old Milana Lee, and with that he's facing life in prison without the possibility of parole, although official sentencing is scheduled for early December. An absolute tragedy, of course. Full condolences to all concerned. Moving on to the next topic. Eva Fontes Cardosa, 53 years of age, Kayla Cardosa, 31 years of age, and Lisa Hamilton, 64 years of age, all from Massachusetts, face charges of manslaughter, larceny, Medicaid fraud, and caregiver neglect of an elder in regards to the death of 79-year-old Denora Cardosa. On May 17th, 2023, first responders found Denora covered in cockroaches, bedbugs, and feces at a senior housing complex. Denora was stuck to a skin-encrusted mattress. She had to be taken to the hospital with the bedding. That's right, the bedding. I believe the mattress was literally stuck to her. The skin had fused with the material. She couldn't be separated. Tragically, Denora died 2 days later after being taken to hospital from necrotizing fasciitis as well as sepsis due to infected ulcers. So in essence, she'd been kept in a despicable state, not given adequate care, and she was overcome with cockroaches, bedbugs, and feces. Eva Cardosa, Denora's daughter and so-called personal care attendant, as well as Kayla Cardosa, Denora's granddaughter, had both allegedly billed Mass Health, a medical organization, for services which weren't provided, and that includes after Denora had died. So essentially, Denora's daughter and granddaughter were committing fraud. By the look of it, Medicaid fraud. They took in over $140,000 for services that were not provided. In addition, Lisa Hamilton, a registered nurse, visited weekly to Denora. That was her job. That's what she was paid to do. She claimed in her reports that Denora was clean, well cared for, alert, and that her diabetes was well controlled. All of that seems to be lies. It seems that allegedly Lisa Hamilton, the registered nurse, was making up a pack of lies. Perhaps she didn't even visit Denora at all. She was in on the plan. In all likelihood, that's the suggestion, that is the allegations. But a trial will be taking place in mid-January of 2025, and let's hope that the authorities are able to get to the bottom of what happened. What we do know is that Denora Cardosa died in dreadful conditions, her death seemingly completely avoidable, her treatment obviously undoubtedly avoidable. The organization Mass Health was billed $140,000 by the victim's daughter and granddaughter, yet no such services were provided, or certainly not the full value of that $140,000. So Mass Health, Massachusetts Health Authority, I should imagine, I would guess is fundamentally paid for by the taxpayers. So these scumbags seemingly, allegedly, committed fraud against the taxpayers, and let's hope that they get the opportunity to pay the taxpayers back through justice, through their incarceration. Moving on to the next topic. A man in his 30s has been arrested on suspicion of murder following a fatal shooting in Birmingham, England. The incident occurred on Rotten Park Road near City Road in Edgbaston just before 11 p.m. on Friday night. Police found two victims. One, a man in his 30s, critically injured, now hospitalized. The second, a man in his 20s, he was found dead in a car at the scene. A suspect was arrested at 12:30 a.m. and remains in custody. A murder inquiry has been opened. We're told that a local resident reported hearing 3 gunshots before emergency services arrived. So what does that suggest? Gang activity? I would think so. There's no further details known to the public at this point. Perhaps that will change. But of course, full condolences to all those touched by the murder. And let's hope that the critically injured man is able to make a recovery. Nadal Eshakuk, 30 years of age, from Surrey Hills in Sydney, has been fatally shot in a targeted attack at a BP petrol station Friday night. 2 gunmen wearing dark ponchos fired at least 4 shots at Nadal's car at around 8 p.m. Despite being hit in the shoulder, Nadal managed to exit the vehicle. We see CCTV footage of him stumbling into the streets as bystanders screamed for an ambulance. Tragically, Nadal succumbed to his injuries. We're told that it's believed that Nadal had links to underworld organizations, gangs, and he was known to the police. We're told that the 2 gunmen fled the scene. They set fire to their getaway Porsche, and they remain at large. Moving on to the next topic. A 23-year-old man is fighting for his life after being stabbed during a violent brawl in Hoppers Crossing, Melbourne's southwest on Mossfield Drive at around 3:40 a.m. Saturday. Emergency services found the victim with life-threatening injuries. He was rushed to hospital in critical condition. 9 men have been arrested by police for questioning, although no charges have been laid at this point. Authorities are investigating a potential link to a second stabbing victim, a 16-year-old boy who arrived at hospital with serious stab injuries at around 4 a.m. It's believed that both incidences were targeted attacks. So why would that be? Gang activity? That would be my guess, but I really don't know. Moving on to the next topic. David Lane Braff Jr., 42 years of age, from Santa Paula in California, faces 17 felony counts of lewd acts involving 8 children aged between 6 and 10 years of age at McKevitt Elementary School. The alleged crimes occurred from 2015 to 2019 when Braff was a counselor at the school. Can you imagine a counselor at a school? The McKevitt Elementary School in Santa Paula, California, facing 17 felony counts of lewd acts involving 8 children aged 6 to 10. We're told that he targeted vulnerable children. His crimes involved planning and sophistication, so this was planned out from an incredibly sick mind. He's in custody. He's been held on a $3 million bail. I applaud that. Authorities are asking for potential victims to come forward. We're told that the school and the school district are complying, cooperating with the investigation, as well they should. Let's hope that justice is served. I'm going to wrap things up at this point. Of course, full condolences to all of the victims and their families, their friends, those affected by these tragedies. I've covered several very harrowing topics. None of them are pleasant, and they might bring you down. They've brought me down a little bit. So remember to take a mental break if you feel that you need one. If you do appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, and share the video as you see fit. If you've got any feedback for me, that would be great. I'm just getting back into making videos. I quite like the idea of making one video incorporating several topics. I don't really like going into ultra detail for each individual topic. I think they're all important, but often there's not too much to be said. We hate the perpetrators. We wish the best for the victims and their families, and there's not a great deal more that can be said. So I'm choosing not to comment too much, get overly involved with each individual case, because they are tragic and they are depressing. So hopefully I'm managing to do that in a good way. If you do agree, as I say, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit, and take care.